Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. If you're checking this out, you're probably a supporter of 𝗕cie and we're very appreciative for all that. This is released in November, but it summarizes the month of October, and every month we used to do it in a quarter, we now do it in a month. We send out an email that really tries to summarize the progress that we're making, so people like you, supporters, investors, customers, friends can keep track of the progress that we're making. And I've often done this through just email, but I felt like getting on video and recording a quick video. Sometimes quick is a subjective thing, but I'll do my best to keep on point here and hopefully have a couple maybe insights from the month of October. And it was a really interesting one. Halloween, first of all, I had the opportunity to dress up as Neo for Halloween, and a huge fan of The Matrix, so that was a lot of fun, and had a partner who dressed up as Trinity. So that was a great way to end the month, and my mind's still a little bit on that. Connected with some beautiful people, and I had a great time. But from a perspective of work, from 𝗕cie, there's so many lessons that you're learning, and you're learning very quickly. And one of the I guess I'll go through points in this email and just try to break this down. So one of them is traction, and what was really great from this month was that we actually crossed over the 2,000 sign up mark, and that was it's a superficial number, but we're now past the year that we're in, so I think we're past the 220, and something cool about that. And 2,000 is a big milestone for us, and we're really happy to do that. That's with really limited outside funding, only non-dilutive capital in my own investment to date. We've shown that people are interested in what we're doing and are at least willing to sign up. And now, definitely not all those users are turning into paid users using 𝗕cie on a regular basis, but as every person signs up, they say why they're signing up, they tell us what problems they're trying to solve, and either we solve that problem for them or we don't. We start to get closer and closer to who are our ideal customers and who are we helping the most and how can we provide the most value. And that's something we're really excited to be learning, moving very quickly at, and 2,000 was a big mark. There was within that some new subscriptions, so we had 5 new subscriptions, which was fantastic. Those were paid subscriptions, and some of those were actual annual. So it's really amazing when someone builds enough trust and in you and actually wants to use your platform for the year. And to see a couple of those come together in a month is always great, and it builds a relationship, a very powerful one that we're grateful for, and know that we can continue to iterate and work with these people. So thank you for everyone who signed up for an annual plan. It really does mean a lot. And then on the revenue side, about almost 14K Canadian in revenue through software. Last month was higher, and this is where we do see some ebbs and flows, I think, in our business, where when we work with market research companies, sometimes they're taking on big projects, and some of those projects need them to be professionally transcribed. And so when you are in the middle of a big project, you're processing a ton of minutes, and then you're bringing in remote teams to help clean that transcript up to 100%, and you get a nice sort of revenue injection into that business. And we see that these research firms, because of the process we've set up, come back, which is really nice, but it's not always on the daily basis, because they're moving through projects themselves and only have certain times that they're doing interviews and then creating those files for the professional transcription that actually needs to happen. A couple other things, that's the traction part, and there's other data points in there for us. But one of the things we really worked on this month was to improve our onboarding. And we looked in sort of September or August, and we realized that some of the people who were signing up were struggling to upload media or onboard successfully. And so when we reviewed those months, we actually looked back and found a bunch of gaps in our system about how we couldn't convert those people into not even like users or paid users right away. It was actually just successful onboards, and that was something that was disappointing to say the least, but also brought our sort of light to it, and we corrected that, and since then have basically been onboarding people almost at 100%, which is always a really great thing to see. And when every person signs up, they have a good user onboarding experience. You're improving the chances quite significantly that they find value in the platform and will become a customer. And so continuing to improve that onboarding experience, there's no question why some of these companies invest so much especially once they get sort of early stage funding in the onboarding experience that these people that their customers have, because it converts to business, retention, activation, and revenue. And so that's something we're definitely focused on here. A couple other things that that stuck out to me are basically one really cool moment, which was this being hand-selected in this. It was the Government of Canada. It was a Global Affairs Investor Deal Book. And what that enabled us to do was get featured in sort of a one-page, two-page summary of 𝗕Cie. And that took a lot of work, honestly too much work to put together. It's something that you continue to refine and work on and try to improve. But you went through that process, built out that summary, and then that's now being shared in the deal book that's live. It's a nice little link, and that's being shared across the world internationally. And what's been really nice is already seeing some some interest from investors who are reaching out based on a nice summary, setting up meetings, viewing slide decks, and all these wonderful things that continue to sort of help you iterate, learn, gauge interest, and figure out where are you producing value, not just for your customers, but from people who are going to invest in the business and help you grow through that way. What else do we got here? This was interesting. There was some investment offers that were made, both verbal commitments, but then also in terms of term sheets. And you learn from those very quickly what a good term sheet looks like, and what maybe not such a good term sheet looks like. And from our perspective, through these ones that were given to us, some advisor feedback, some legal feedback, we realized that sometimes, depending on what stage you are and who you're talking to and who's actually giving that term sheet, these options or the control mechanisms in those offers can be not necessarily good for founders. And so during this process, we realized, okay, if there is, if we're giving the process to investors to produce those term sheets, which is going to happen when you work with certain investors, take a certain amount of money, then we're taking, we're not necessarily setting up things up for us all the time. We're not always directly aligned, and there's going to be conflict in a investor-investee relationship at all times. But there's better ways to structure things. And so, from our standpoint, instead of waiting for investors to set the terms, one of the realizations we had is that it's important to use standardized documents. And so, what we're looking at now is this idea of a post-money safe. And with that, it's good for an investor, it's good for a founder, and it's a well-regarded and widely used instrument to do investments. So if we're to proceed with it, that's the way that we're going to go, and want to make sure to honor the time and investment that we've put into the system, as well as also making sure that if we move forward, that we're getting the return that the investors want and need. And that's a delicate balance in its own. So continuing that journey, learning, and also along the way leveraging as much non-dilutive capital as we can. And so a couple things that I can't say too much about, but it looks like there's some really nice opportunities for non-dilutive capital that we're exploring and finalizing right now, that hope to be able to share in the November update and proceed with. And just like last things on a couple updates were these, a couple presentations that I personally got to lead. One on visualizing language, which was a ton of fun. It was a little abstract, but I got through it. And then a couple other events, an NLP summit, which was amazing, natural language processing, some of the best people in NLP, and learned so much about natural language processing, especially once you start to go vertical. And one of the bigger drivers in that discussion was healthcare-related NLP. So to see how entities are extracted, the relationships are built out of those, and the depth that is possible was really compelling, and grateful to have the opportunity to attend that. And also a Meet Our Fund event by Inside, which had a bunch of investors sort of discussing, not instead of having investors pitch to, or investees pitch to investors, companies and startups pitch to investors, you're having the opposite route, which is investors actually pitching to you. So you learn a lot from how they're doing that, and you also realize that they're just people too. And so that was a great experience, tuned into a little bit of that, and built some great connections through that event. And from the product side, I know I'm going long already here. 9 minutes, come on, Tyler, what are you doing? What we did was actually brought in PDF and text and Word doc compatibility. So now you can import those documents. I've added a little video to this too, so I'm not going to spend too much time here, but you can check that out. We did what was really interesting, a product market fit survey, and we got about 20, I would say more than 20, maybe 30 really nice responses from some of the customers and users of our platform, and that is helping us now prioritize what we need to do. And a lot of companies using it for transcription and also looking for multi-language, different ways to analyze information, and some other sort of compelling solutions that they're looking for that we hadn't necessarily thought of. So amazing to get that feedback from our customers and users, and continue to use that to iterate what we're doing and prioritize the next steps for our business as we build out our roadmap. And then a couple other things on product was like really focusing on how can we improve the search function, how do you filter the data, if you're tagging data by media by different projects or things like that, how are you able to do that better, and then also displaying that information better. So working on some different visualizations. I'm attaching a version of that for you to check, where it's how can you take a conversation, summarize that both visually and actually automatically extract out the action items and questions from that to produce a valuable sort of summary of that you can drill down and listen to more. And we've been using that on our own daily stand-ups, own office hours every day, every week, and has been really beautiful from an insight perspective and also seeing the value in our own product. What's next? Go to Miami. So pretty excited about that. That's next week. Microdose, great team there who's worked really hard to build credibility, build brand, build events in the psychedelic space, is hosting the in-person event in Miami, and I'm grateful to be going. I'm going to have meet some people who I've never met in person before, and that's going to be a ton of fun. So looking forward to that very much, and hopefully have some pictures, some videos, and some good stories that come out of that, as well as some great new, not just connecting with friends who I already have, who I've met virtually, but hopefully some new friends and some pretty awesome experiences. Continuing looking at, obviously in financing, non-dilutive and equity, exploring what that looks like. And then really using the insights from the survey responses. We did a platform audit of our app, so it's always like fun to get that. Also hurts sometimes, but those hurting things are like what you need to improve. And so we're using those to really improve the platform even further, and really engage with a bunch of customers right now. And as they dive deeper into the platform, they find opportunities, they find gaps, and that process becomes even more iterative and really creates more value for both us, for the customer, and the overall platform offering, how we message it, and that's a really exciting time for us to be in. So I'm done here. If you do, if you are, I hope that made sense. That was my first attempt at sort of summarizing this in video format. If you're interested in helping, always love it. Introduce us to investors who lead or co-lead seed rounds. Our ideal customer has experience, our ideal investor has experience in AI, B2B, B2B2C, analytics, AI, natural language processing, and moves quickly and decisively, and is interested in investing through the safe structured document that we're setting up. Research and marketing teams, that's who has really been getting a lot of value from our system, and not just our system, but our team and the way that we're approaching big problems with large libraries of media, and how can you automatically extract insights out of that and visualize it. And so if you are connected to that, if you're one of those yourself, feel encouraged to reach out. I think there's a ton of opportunities here, and I think in a way we've only scratched the surface. And then as always, check out the website, check out the app. Get into that app, use the free trial, abuse it, try to break everything you possibly can in it. Send us a message, let us know what's awesome, what sucks, and we'll continue to learn, continue to improve. And for anyone who checked out this video, I really do appreciate you. We're going to continue here. We're having a lot of fun, and it's great to be at this stage in the company with a foundationally fantastic product, learning at a high speed, and just continuing to proceed with with optimism, with excitement, and the knowledge and confidence that we're solving really important problems for ourselves, for our customers, and for people who don't even know about us yet. And hopefully one day they'll know about us, and hopefully one day we'll be able to help them solve problems. Until then, we'll keep working away, and thank you again for checking this out, and for everything you're doing to support us here at 𝗕CCI.